I never expected a casual joke in the middle of a diplomatic banquet to change the course of my life, or the politics of an entire star system. Yet, here I was, standing in the grand hall of the Zylarian palace, nervously wondering if my heart would survive this night. My name is Kael Draven, 27, human, former pilot turned interstellar liaison. Earth had been sending diplomats to Zylaria for decades, trying to smooth out trade deals, mediate disputes, and, mostly, keep us from becoming a footnote in the galactic history books. I had assumed this would be another routine evening. Shake hands, smile, exchange pleasantries, maybe sneak in a joke that wouldn't get me vaporized. How wrong I was. The banquet. The hall was massive, far larger than any human construction I had ever seen. Its walls shimmered with luminescent crystal panels, reflecting soft violet light onto the polished obsidian floors. Floating platforms carried servers of all shapes and colors, offering exotic foods that I couldn't even begin to identify. Some of it smelled delicious. Some smelled like it would probably try to eat me if I blinked. And then there was her. The alien princess. Princess Lyrielle Zyxara. Known across Zylaria as the jewel of the royal house, her beauty and intellect were matched only by her cunning. Her violet skin glimmered like a night sky, and her silver hair cascaded past her shoulders. But it wasn't just her appearance, it was the air of authority she carried. Every Zylarian in the room subtly shifted when she entered, bowing or lowering their heads. Even the high-ranking council members, stoic and proud, gave her the respect of awe. I, of course, had no such training. We met briefly earlier in the evening, exchanging the bare minimum of diplomatic words. She nodded politely at me, and I, being entirely human and entirely foolish, thought, she's gorgeous. I wonder if she likes terrible jokes. The joke. Hours into the banquet, after endless toasts and exchanges of alien protocol that I barely understood, the Zyxarian ambassador nudged me. Kael, you must speak with the princess. It is custom. Custom? Fine. I'll speak. How complicated could it be? I approached her carefully, bowing slightly in the human way, which I was certain was not the proper Zyxarian etiquette. She smiled faintly. A dangerous smile, the kind that could either mean approval or execution. I hope you are enjoying the evening, I said. I am, she replied, her voice melodic but firm. And you human? Surviving, I admitted, and for some reason it felt like the most honest answer. Then, in a moment of absolute human stupidity, I added, though I was thinking if all this diplomacy fails, maybe I should just marry you. Solve all our problems in one go. I froze. The words were out. My mouth closed, my eyes widened, and I prayed to every star in the galaxy that she would laugh politely and dismiss it as a joke. She didn't. Her response. Instead, she tilted her head slightly, eyes glinting like starlight. Gladly. I swear, the room might have stopped existing for a second. My joke, my terrible, offhand joke, was now a serious proposal in her mind. I meant that is purely hypothetical. I stammered. My brain scrambled like a dying circuit. She raised an elegant hand, cutting through my panic. Do not overthink it, human. You said it. I heard it. I accept. I swallowed hard. Okay, sure, yes, of course, hypothetically speaking. Hypothetical, she repeated, amused. There is nothing hypothetical about desire, Kael Draven. That was the moment I realized two things. I had no idea how interspecies courtship worked. This joke had now escalated to an official, albeit unofficial, betrothal in Zylarian eyes. Political ramifications. By the next day, word had spread. Courtiers whispered. Diplomats gossiped. Even the ambassadors from other systems started sending coded messages of congratulations or warnings. Marrying a human? It was unprecedented. A minor planet being wed into Zylarian royalty could either be seen as a brilliant diplomatic alliance or a catastrophic insult. I was summoned to the royal chamber. Princess Lyrielle awaited me, calm and composed. Her expression softened into what I interpreted as curiosity. "Kael," she said, "do you understand what you have done?" I made a joke. I ventured. She lifted one brow. A joke that echoes through the halls of our empire. And yet it is a charming one. I realized that charm would not save me from the following complications: cultural expectations, potential rebellion from factions opposed to interspecies marriage, and, oh yes, the very real possibility that I might have to actually court an alien princess seriously now. The training. Lyrielle, to her credit, didn't mock me. She instructed me in the subtleties of Zylarian courtship. Gestures, phrases, rituals, even the correct way to bow, which apparently humans were bad at. She was patient, surprisingly funny, and somehow terrifying all at once. We spent days walking the palace gardens, discussing politics, history, and occasionally the absurdities of interstellar law. I learned that Zyxarians placed immense value on honesty, courage, and wit. Flattery alone would not win their favor. And humor. Humor could either save a human life or ruin it instantly. And apparently, my poorly timed joke had done both. I began to realize that she wasn't just a beautiful alien. She was brilliant, cunning, and capable of seeing through the layers of pretense that diplomats typically wore. And she wasn't afraid to challenge me. The test. The true test came one evening during the Celestial Dance, a festival celebrating Zylarian culture and the alignment of 3 moons. Courtiers and dignitaries gathered to observe a ritual that symbolized loyalty, trust, and unity. Lyrielle took my hand, a gesture that caused whispers across the hall, and said, "Tonight, you will show your sincerity." I nodded, heart hammering. What did that mean? Was I supposed to recite a vow? Sing a Zylarian hymn? Offer a gemstone the size of a melon? Instead, she led me to a balcony overlooking the palace courtyard. Thousands of citizens had gathered below, their attention fixed on the royal family. Lyrielle stepped forward, standing beside me. "Kael Draven," she announced, her voice carrying effortlessly. "Do you speak truly when you accepted my proposal last night?" I swallowed, every eye on us. I could feel the heat of judgment and anticipation. "Yes," I said, surprising even myself. "I accept the responsibility, however unexpected, and I intend to honor it." The crowd below erupted, not in anger, but in cheers. Apparently, humans' honesty was rare enough to earn respect. Lyrielle's hand squeezed mine. "Then your journey has begun, human." Unexpected bond. Over the following weeks, what began as a joke blossomed into genuine connection. Lyrielle and I spent hours discussing diplomacy, ethics, and occasionally Earth culture. She laughed at my terrible jokes and occasionally scolded me for making them. We trained together in combat simulations, explored ancient Zylarian archives, and navigated the treacherous waters of political intrigue. I learned that leadership was not just about power. It was about earning respect, understanding nuance, and making decisions that could save millions of lives. And through it all, we learned to trust each other. The threat. Of course, not everyone approved. Some factions viewed a human marrying into royalty as a betrayal of Zylarian purity. They plotted quietly, intending to disrupt our engagement, humiliate me, or worse. One night, as Lyrielle and I walked through the gardens, a group of masked assailants ambushed us. I was frozen for a second, adrenaline surging. Lyrielle moved like lightning. Energy blasts flared from her hands, disarming and incapacitating the attackers. Then she looked at me, serious. "Do you see now why a careless joke can be dangerous?" she asked. Yes, I admitted, still trying to catch my breath. "Yet," she added, her voice softening, "it can also change the world." The marriage. Finally, the day arrived. In a ceremony attended by dignitaries across the galaxy, Lyrielle and I exchanged vows. I promised loyalty, honesty, and courage. She promised wisdom, guidance, and partnership. It was the first human-Zylarian union in recorded history, a symbol of trust and alliance between two very different worlds. Cameras captured the event for millions of citizens, diplomats whispered approval, and somewhere, Earth breathed a collective sigh of disbelief. A new era. After the ceremony, as the palace lights glittered across the courtyard, Lyrielle leaned close. "You see," she whispered, "sometimes a joke can be the beginning of something extraordinary." I smiled, thinking back to that moment at the banquet. My careless words had become history. And sometimes, I said, you just have to be brave enough to mean it. She laughed, a sound like bells across the starlit sky. And in that moment, I realized something. Whether human or Zylarian, one choice, one joke, one word, one honest moment could change everything. Because that night, a joke became a vow, a laugh became a bond, and a human became something far greater than I ever imagined, part of an alien world and part of a new future.